Gentlemen, ladies, welcome to Math 20-1, Chapter 1.3, Geometric Sequence. Now, geometric sequence, definitions. Sequence. A sequence with a common ratio, or set of numbers with a common ratio R. In a moment. No, I'm teaching, you can be quiet and listen. 3 to 6, 6 to 12, 12 to 24. What are we dealing with here? Are we adding? We're timesing by 2. So R is 2 here. Now, just to be careful, because you will see this odd question like in your check your understanding in a little while, check all of the terms. Is it always 2? In this instance, yes. And notice it goes dot, 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 which means it's infinite or keeps on going. So the next term would be? 48. And then 2 times 48 is something. All right. I believe you. Now, the next term, sorry, the next sequence, I'm sorry. Yes. Divide by 3. Now, I want to be careful here. By tradition, we don't talk about dividing here. We talk about multiplying. Times 1/3. Thank you. Now, second thing I want to point out here, you notice we're getting into fractions. So 3 and 1/3. Actually, I screwed that up. Should be 3 and 1/3. That is 10 over 3. Okay. This is 10 over 3 times a third, or 10/9. So we're multiplying by 1/3 every time. So R is 1/3. Yes. Now, I want you to note here something quite important. R is always one term divided by the term before it. Now, traditionally I go T2 divided by T1 because those are small numbers. So this would be, in this case, 6 divided by 3, which is 2. Now, I will point out I don't have to use the second term and the first term. Particularly down here, the numbers are getting smaller and smaller in the second one, but I can still do that anyway. Any term divided by the term before it. So 10/3 divided by 10 is 1/3. Okay. Now, I'm going to spend a couple minutes deriving a form. Sorry, you guys see this? And this is an important hint. Sometimes the numbers at the beginning are big and ugly. Look farther down the sequence, or you're missing numbers. Remember that. And of course, you have to use power tools when I'm recording a class. Okay. Life. Now. Okay. Shh. And they're fixing something in my classroom right now. Anyway, now, taking a couple minutes to derive a formula. Shh. You're being recorded. What is the 10th term? Now, as I said before, I want you to realize this is not magic. All these formulas come from somewhere. So this is 3 times 2, 3 times 4, 3 times 8, 3 times 2, 3 times 2 squared, 3 times 2 cubed, to the 1, and to be picky, this is 3 times 2 to the 0. Okay? Yes, Drake. Yeah, almost. Thank you very much. Now, yes, if you couldn't hear that on the recording at home, Drake just pointed out the exponent here is the number of terms minus 1. This is the first term, this is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth. Well done. Now, to be a little more generic, what is 2? Yes, because...
Excuse the interruption. Mr. Dessel, can you call the junior high office?
I completely forgot to make a list. T1 is 3. r is 2. So this is t1 r to the n minus 1. And this is the nth term, or t to the n, I should say. So here's our new formula. If you saw where it came from, great. If not, I'm okay with that because I want you to realize there's nothing magic here. All these formulas come from somewhere. Logic and reasoning. Now, so this is the entire lesson right here. T to the n is t to the 1 plus, those times r to the n minus 1. T to the 1 is first term, t to the n is the nth term, n is number of terms. R, the only thing new-ish is r, our common ratio. This formula is right on our formula sheet. You don't even have to memorize it. Thank you for getting your formula sheet out. Makes life easier. So, yes. Yes? Later. Okay. Now, for the sequence 6, 18, 54, what is the 12th term? So I need you guys to work on this on your slates. So everybody, markers out. Now, there's a couple of you who don't want to do slates. I'm okay with that. Get out a sheet of paper and work on that. Once again, I will give you time to do notes here. I want your brain engaged and I want thinking here. So, what is my first term? Do I know my last term? No. Do I know my number of terms? Yes. T12, I've got 12 terms. What's my common ratio? R. Well, it's any term divided by the term before it. Yes, which is 3. Now, the only formula you've got, t to the n is t to the 1, r to the n minus 1. Can we find T12? Do it on your slates, please, and show me. Let's go. Okay, guys, I will point out this microphone is picking up your conversation, and it's showing that you're not working as hard in class and you're distracting other people. Stop now. No, I can't. So, shh, gentlemen, later you can show me. Now, Drake, seriously, stop. Shh. All right, guys, 6 times 3 to the 12 minus 1. So, can anyone do this in their head? No. And I see 3 people, 4 people, 5, 6 going for a calculator. 6 times 3 to the 11. Now, remember, guys, order of operations. .43 times 10 to the. Okay. Now, here we're getting different answers. So this is what I'm worried about. Did you put brackets around it when you did it? Or did you go? No, you can't do that. This is 6. Remember, order of operations, brackets, exponents first. So 3 to the 11. So, what is 3 to the 11? Come on. 177147. So what is that? Yes, I know. But I can't. I'm sorry. My question. 6 times that gives you. No. 106. I'm sorry. 106. What comes next? 28. Yes, that's better. Something over 1 million. Now, once again, I don't have a calculator, so does that work? Is that what you guys got? Show me, please. Yes, 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 yes. Good. Good. Still working. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Good. All right. Now, one formula. Shh. Okay. Shh. So, remember there's only one formula, and there's 4 unknowns, t to the n, t1, r, or n. So I'm going to give you 3 of them, or the information to find 3, and then you've got to find the 4th. So this question here, For the sequence 256, 128, 64, yada, 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 1/4, how many terms are there? So I'm asking for n. So what's the first term? The last term is n, we don't know. What is r? Yes. Now, as I said, it's any term. I'm going to choose the third term divided by the second. It's a little easier for me to figure out. So it's a half. Now, we're asking for n. This one's a little sneaky. So let's work on it. Well, we started it, and I'd like to thank all of you for writing this out. Now, what do you do next? Well, t to the n is 1/4. Hang on. First, I got to plug the numbers into the equation. T to the n is 1/4. T1 is, oh, I should color code this. 1/4 equals T1, 256 times my base, 1/2 to n minus 1. So, remember brackets, exponents. So you cannot go 256 times a half. You cannot. So how do you get rid of times 256? So divide both sides by 256, what do you get? Math, fraction. Upper left corner is a math button. Fraction. Yeah, enter.
1 over 1,024.
1 over 1,024. Okay.
You click the math button, and then it'll say fraction, and then you click enter, and then you click enter again.
Yes. So, is everybody getting 1 over 1,024? All right. Now, you can leave this as a decimal. I'm not going to make you turn it into fraction, but I like the fractions. Now, why do I like the fraction? Because here we have to guess and check. We really haven't got a choice. So, I have no idea. 1/2 to the 10 is what? Come on, we're guessing and checking. There's no easy way to solve this. It is? Crap.
Wait, so are we just putting random numbers in there?
Well, no. What I'm trying to do is show you it's a big number, so let's start with 10, and that just happens to be the answer. I should have started off with 8. Actually, let's erase this. Shh. All right, sorry. For those of you at home, ignore the last 30 seconds. I do want you to get in the habit of guessing and checking for these. In Math 30-1, I'll show you logarithms. So 1/2 to the 8th is what? One over? Too small. So 1/2 to the 10 is 1 over 1024. That's what you should do. Rarely do you get it the first guess. Now, so faking it for you at home. Okay. Now what I want to point out here, guys, two things. One, guess and check. And then, I wonder why.
Because people threw it back in there. Their stupid grade 10s. Oh, that's fine.
No. Shh. 1024. Now, that means 1/2 to the n minus 1 is 1/2 to the 10th, not 8th. Oh dear. I am getting old. Anyway, now, if that's the case, you go back to exponents. If the bases are the same, that means the exponents are the same, or n minus 1 is 10. What is n? So, that's almost as hard as I can get. Okay? You guys okay with that?
So, you want us to guess and check?
Yes. There is a way to do it. Well, there's a couple ways to do it, but they involve more work than they're worth right now. In Math 30, we will spend 2 weeks doing that. Okay. So, here's one of my favorite trick questions. Now, as I've said before, you guys will show me you're smart. You can do the math. But it's the words, the word questions that you have trouble with. So, working on this one. If you put $800 into a 4% savings account for 6 years, how much do you have? Yes. 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 Oh, for those of you at home, I don't know if the microphone is quite sensitive enough, but one gentleman pointed out T1, you're putting in $800. Oh, sorry, color code. Now, the N is, 6 years. Now, two things. We don't know the final amount, and we don't have the rate yet. Now, what have I said? Ethan, get your foot off the sleeve, please. Thank you. The one number we haven't used is 4%. Now, I love these percentage questions because about 20% of you don't pay attention here and screw it up. And I get who, and now I find out who's not paying attention. With any percentage, it's 100% plus the, or minus the number, 104%. How do we put that in our calculator? Well, percent means of 100. So our rate is 1.04. I should write that down here properly. Our rate might be like that. Sorry, color code this. My rate is 1.04, or my base for my exponent. Now, as I said, that's the trick here. 1.04. Now, what's the last term? Now is it easy to figure out? Go for it, gentlemen, ladies. Show me, please. So actually, I should solve it with you guys to see if I can screw it up. T to the n, the last term, is the first term. 800 times my rate, 1.04, to the n minus 1, which is 6 minus 1. So T6 is what? 800 times 1.04. What are we getting? Okay. So gentlemen, ladies, what are we getting? 973.43. Okay, well, I'll give you another moment to calculate it. Okay, so what did you guys get? Louder? What comes after the 0.3? Because that's pennies, and I'm counting the pennies. Now, do you guys get that? All right. Anybody not get that? Still working on it, still working on it. No. Now, for actually, I just had a very important question, rounding off. Shh. Generally, 3 digits, with the exception of money. Money is always 2 decimal places, unless I say otherwise. Because I want that as extra 2 cents, because I'm cheap. Abby, get your foot off the slate, please. Now, you buy a truck for $39,000. It depreciates at 25% per year. How much is it worth after 4 years? Now, this I need to see you working on. So you're subtracting, not adding. Good. If you couldn't hear that at home, depreciation means it goes down. So, what's my first term?
39,000.
I'm asking what is it worth after 4 years. I don't know what that last term is, but what is n? 4. And Jacob just talked about the rate.
Would be 22.
Careful. Depreciates means it goes down. So it's 100% minus 25%, which is 75%, or 0.75. That's the trick. So as I said, really the hard, well, I'm going to show you in a moment what I consider to be the hard math questions. So I'm either the wording is a little tricky or the math is a little tricky. Here, once you see the wording and understand what's asked, it's easy. Now can you guys solve this without my help? And I want to see everybody solve it, please. Means goes down. Yes. Okay. Well, hang on. No. I want everyone to show me the answer in a few seconds, but there's still a few people that are having a little bit of trouble with this. Oh, actually, it's 75% because depreciation, that's the trick here. Depreciates at 25%. It loses 25, so it's 100% minus 25%, so it's only worth 75% of what it was. So.
25 per year. So you do 25% of 39,000, and then whatever that answer is, you do another 25%.
Now, after 4 years, 39,000.75 cubed is what number? What are we getting? Show me your answer, please, ladies and gentlemen. 16,453. 1,3. Drake, don't care. Thank you. So, everybody's getting $16,453.13. Now, this is how they calculate your blue book value or your insurance value of your vehicle. So if you write it off after 4 years and you have comprehensive, they'll write you a check for that. And you can go ahead and argue with them about it, but that's the check you're going to get. Don't ask me how I know that. All right. Okay, so far so good? All right. Now, as I said, there's one tricky math question with this, and we're building up to it. So, geometric mean or average, 3, 6, 12. Here you notice the rate is what? Or what is R here? And notice I've given you the first term. So the average is the number in the middle. So this is a nice simple one. If I give you this one, 9x81, what's the missing term? How do you know? Seven times 3 is 81. Okay, now you can do this one in your head. The math isn't bad. Now, I want to show you the quick way for one term missing. Just cross multiply. Here, this is x over 9 equals 81 over x. So, T2 is x, T1 is 9. Now, this is a shortcut some people use. So, cross multiply, you get x squared equals, what is 81 times 9? Congratulations. Now, x squared is 729. What's x? What's the square root of 729? Okay. What's wrong with that? Well, what did I say earlier? Yes, well, what's the square root of 729? I warned you, plus or minus 27, because I haven't given you enough information to solve it. Now, yes. So this is 27 or minus 27. I have not given you enough information. So you have to be careful and go, oh, poop. Square root could be positive or negative. You have to remember that from Math 10. Okay? So R would be 3, yes. Plus or minus 3 if you solved it. So far, so good? So this is where it gets a little tricky. Now, you guys solve this one for me. 3 blank 48. So 3 times something something gives you 48. Now, if you're watching this on the internet, you may have seen it. You may have seen your teacher show you another way. I will show you that other way in a moment. Something like that. Hang on. I don't know what the answer is. Relax. I need you to set this up. Second term, I'm going to call x. X over 3 equals third term, 48, divided by x. X squared equals, what's 48 times 3?
44.
So x equals, or, good. So the next term is, okay, 3 times 12 is, sorry? Yes. I'm asking what's this middle term? I just solved r. Oh, plus or minus, sorry, it's plus 12, forgive me. Or minus 12. We haven't solved for r. Sorry? Hang on, guys, shh. Now hang on. The next term should be plus or minus 12, correct? We don't know. All right. So far, so good? Now, here's the nasty one. Now, hang on. I want you to look at this and make a list of everything you know. 3 blank 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 48. T1, T2, T3, T4, T5. All right? So, like any other question, make a list of what you know. Now, since the question's in front of you, you don't have to copy it out, but I want T1, T to the N, and R. The last one, it wasn't that important. Well, we should have. I'm just getting old. So, for this one, what's my first term? What's my last term? How many terms do I have? So this is actually T to the 5. Do we know R? Okay. Now, I want to show you how to do this. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to be polite once, then I'm going to get sarcastic with the 3 people that are chatting in class and not paying attention to me. The first term is 3. What's my last term? 48. So 48, I'm going to put the larger number on top because I can, is T1 times R to the 4. That's, oh, I'm sorry, I should be saying T5 equals. Hang on, getting there. Now, oh, you're right. Now, here, I should say T1 is 3. You're right, I should say that, because I gave you T1. Now, I would rather leave it as T1, because if you look at these and divide them, your T1s cancel out, and you will get questions where you don't know your first term. Now, what have you got? Well, what's 48 divided by 3? So 16. What's T1 out of the 4 divided by T1? So R is the 4th root of 16, which is? Now careful. Or it's an even root, which means Okay. Should remember from Math 10. Thank you. Okay. Even root could be negative. 2 plus 2 times plus 2 times plus 2 times plus 2 is 16. Minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2 is also 16. So we've just solved for r here, plus or minus 2. Okay? Now, that's the sneaky part. As I said, yes, T1 is 3. I should be writing 3, but I'd rather cancel it out because there are times you don't know what T1 is. So we go here, and I'm asking, what are the next 3 terms? So, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is now, times minus 2 is plus, will be minus 6. Do we know which one it is? No. But we do know the next term is going to be what? Plus 12. A negative times a negative or positive times a negative. So here you have 2 answers. 6, 12, 24, or minus 6 plus 12 minus 24. I have not given you enough information to solve. You have to know both. So on the check your understanding questions you're going to get, the quiz question, you're going to see this quite often because it's a popular question. You have to know the square root of the 4th root or the 6th root is positive or negative. Yes. 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 Now normally the way, hang on, normally the way I'd write it would be 3, 6, 12, 24. Answer A. Answer B would be 3 minus 6, 12 minus 24. Answer C would be 3, 6, 12, 24, or 3 minus 6, 12 minus 24. I give you the option there. And the correct answer would be C. Okay? Have I answered your question? All right. So that is honestly as nasty as this gets. So here's, yes. No, I'm writing this out as a reminder for you guys. I want you to realize this is the first term, 2, 3. This has to be the 4th term because there's 2 blanks in between. Now, you have to go T1, T2, T3, T4. Now, can you guys solve this one without my help? Well, give it a try. So, minus 1 blank blank minus 19,683. So what have we got? First term and the last term, which is how many terms? In this instance, 4. So T1 is minus 1. The last term is minus 19,683. And number of terms is 4. Now, here we have to figure out what R is. Can you easily guess? No. But can you solve it? Yes. So I'll give you a moment to work on this. Louder.
No, wait, I said that wrong.
Okay. I have no idea. I do this once a year. I don't remember the answers. But I will point out first number, last number. Okay. Who's your wing person? No, you need a wing person. Who?
Oh, I need a wing person?
Yes.
I want a wing person.
I want to do it.
Okay. So student volunteers are coming up. Hang on a second. Hang on. Actually, I'll.
Yes. Hi, this is MC Drake in the house. Joke's on you. Detention isn't real. Okay. So T1 is over here. So
Hi guys, I want you to compare answers with
T1 is equal.
over -1,
He's writing
and then
I'll forgive him for that.
Yeah, and then this over 4, and then
Skipping steps.
there. I got the thing.
Now, I'm quite happy with his effort, but the student did skip a couple steps. Now, what he forgot to do was write out, yes. Shh. Really should, hang on. Shh. Now, missed step here. Now, T4 is T1 r cubed, T1 is T1. Now, as I said before, yes, T1 is -1 and you can plug in -1, but there'll be times I don't tell you what T1 is. I'll give you T4 and T10 or something. So get in the habit of canceling it out. So we're down to r cubed is 19,683, not out of the 4. Show steps. So the cube root, 19,683 is 27. Okay, on your calculator, may I? Now there is math. There's cube root, and if you want to do 4th or 5th, you have to put in the number first, then go there. Okay. Now, is everybody getting 27? Show me your work. Let's go. Of course you did. Now, yes? Now, oh, my apologies, gentlemen and ladies. We haven't completely answered the question. The question is, what is the next number? Will be yes. 27 times -1 is -27. -27 times 27, I don't know. 729 minus 729. Hang on. Okay. So, there we go. Answer the question that's written. Don't get all happy because you got one step. You got the steps right. Okay. Now, as I said, I prefer if you didn't write in T1 equals in the equation because I'll give you one like this. Now, this is about as nasty as I can get. Okay. For this equation? No, this last one, what are the missing terms? Now, I said it, I think I said it orally, I didn't write it out. But that's fine. It could be, as Jacob just pointed out, what's the next term? Anyway, now, here's where it gets a little confusing, but it's the exact same procedure. I want to show you this one, because then you got one to do on your own, and then I'm leaving you alone. T3 is 20, T7 is 8 over 250. What's the second term? Not what's the first term, what's the second? So, well, it looks nasty until you start thinking. T3 is T1 r squared. T7 is T1 r to the 6. Hang on. Third term, it's n minus 1. Now, I did that in my head. I should have written it out, but 3 minus 1 is 2. I'm hoping you can follow along. Well, okay. N equals 7. 7 minus 1 is 6. N equals 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. Hence, T1 r squared, T1 r to the 6. Now, one term on top of the other. T7 is T1 r to the 6. Oh, sorry. I'll write out the numbers first. 8 over 250 is T1 r to the 6. What's my other term? T3, which is, well, what's the value of T3? 20. And the generic equation for it is T1 r squared. So, doing a little bit of division, T1 divided by T1. Notice I don't know what they are, and I don't care because they cancel out. So now I need somebody with a calculator. 8 divided by 250 divided by 20 is what? 8 over 5,000, I think. Okay. Okay, let's back up here. So, everybody agree with this part. T7 equals 8 over 250, which is T1 r to the 6. All right. The next equation, T3, is... Okay. And doing a little division. My T1s cancel, so you're all right to here. Now, as I said, these fractions are annoying, but I prefer if you leave them in fractions. If you really want to put it in a decimal, whatever. Grab Mr. Calculator. 8 divided by 250 divided by 20 is what? 1 over 625. R to the 6 divided by r squared. Exponents, we subtract and we get r to the 4. So what is the fourth root of 1 over 625? Grab Mr. Calculator. You should be able to plug that in. 4, second math, number 5. Fourth root of 1 over 625 is 0.02, I believe, which is 0.2. Put it as a fraction. Now, as I said, I'd rather you leave it as a fraction because quite often numbers are much nicer as a fraction. 1/5 versus 0.2. Now, what classic mistake did I make that I warned you guys repeatedly about? Yes, this could be plus or minus. So, I've solved for r. Have I answered the question? No, the second term. Okay, it'll be plus or minus 1/5. And we need the last term. Now, here, we go to one of the equations, either T7, the red, or T3, the purple. Which looks easier to solve? T3. Numbers are nicer. So T3 is 20, which is T1 r squared. Now, why is this nice? Well, we know r is plus or minus 1/5. Now, what is plus or minus 1/5 squared? (1/25). It's T1 times 1 over 25. It has to be plus because it's squared. Now, how do I get... Sorry, going kind of fast, aren't I? All right. So what is... How do you get rid of 1/25? Yes, times both sides by 25. So what does T1 equal? 25 times 20, which is... So 500 is my first term. Now be careful. What question did I ask? Second term. So T2, yes. I'm running out of space here. So T2 equals T1 r to the 1, which is 500 times 1/5 plus or minus, which is, or, very good, plus or minus 100. All right, sort of kind of see that? 100 or minus 100. Not definitive. There's two possible answers. I take points off. Sorry? Yeah, if you got it, go for it. Now, I'm going to stop here and let you start your classwork.